All right. Welcome, guys, back to WMMA Now. As always, I'm your host, Chuck Stevenson. It's been a while since I've been able to do anything with the channel. Work stuff just got in the way too much. A lot to go over. We're going to start with some results from this past weekend, and then we're going to move on into news and notes and what's been going on as far as fight announcements and what's coming up for this weekend and stuff. So let's see. Saturday morning, one championship, Conquest of Heroes. We had Priscilla Hertati Lumbangal from Indonesia defeated Jomari Torres from Philippines. Priscilla Gal climbed to 4-3. Jomari Torres moved to 4-1. That was in the one championship atomweight division, which is like 115 there. I didn't actually get to watch this fight yet. I'm hoping to. I'm surprised that Lumbangal beat Torres. So I'm going to have to look forward. I have that to look forward to sometime this week. And then, of course, Saturday night we had the UFC fight night in Sao Paulo. Kicking off the Fight Pass prelims, we had Livia Souza versus Alex Chambers. Souza won by first round submission, just really bullied Chambers on the feet and took her down and mounted her pretty quickly and got the tap out. Not really surprised by this. Still disappointed. I'm a pretty big Astro Girl fan. Souza, made a statement in her debut. Good for her. Astro Girl Chambers, probably time to head down to Invicta and atomweight. Please, Alex Chambers, if you ever happen to watch this, please go down to atomweight. It's only a matter of time till the UFC brings it in anyway, and I think you'll do a lot better there. And then also on the early Fight Pass prelims, you had Mayra Bueno Silva defeated Jillian Robertson by first round submission. Last seconds of the first round, she got this submission in. Jillian Roberts, I don't blame her for tapping. I mean, it looked so, the armbar, her arm was stretched so badly that I don't think she could have held on those last few seconds if she even heard the for the end of the round. So impressive debut again for another Brazilian girl against the American Robertson. That was at 125. Really, not really gonna do much for either of them. I mean, it snaps a losing streak for Robertson. It would have been 3 in a row for her had she won. Now she's stuck at starting over again. She had 2 wins. Starting over, Silva, she is now, looks like 4-0 or 5-0 after that fight. Don't know who they'll match her up with, probably someone else unranked. The UFC flyweight division, the rankings are so up in the air right now and with the people that do the rankings, it's going to be hard to, I wouldn't be surprised if they ranked her after that, but I doubt it because it was on Fight Pass. It wasn't televised. There wasn't a lot of hype behind Silva or Robertson coming into this fight. So probably neither. I wouldn't expect to see Silva ranked after this if they have updated their rankings yet. I think they usually wait till Wednesday is when UFC updates their rankings. And then on the main card, on Fox Sports 1, Randa Marcos and Marina Rodriguez fought to a majority draw. Marcos had a dominant first round, and she let it all slide from there. She basically pulled, I'm from Pittsburgh, so I'm going to say she pulled a Pirates or she pulled a Steelers. She got off to a good lead and then just took off from there. Just like, didn't want to do anything after that. It's like she coasted, I guess. It seemed like. I mean, if you're on top the entire first round, you get an easy takedown, and you're dominant on top, why wouldn't you repeat that in the second round? I don't know. She chose to strike with a Muay Thai fighter, which Brandon Marcos' striking it's very rudimentary, and it showed. I think two of the judges had a 10-8 Marcos, but she lost the next two rounds. I can't remember what the scores were exactly. But yeah, that was Marcos's fight to lose after such a dominant first round. She really let the fight go. She just let it go. She let it get away from her. Marcos falls to what? 8-7-1, and Marina Rodriguez is 9-0-1 still. She was coming in highly touted after a first round knockout on the Dana White Tuesday Night Contenders Series Brazil. Not the debut she wanted either. She'll stick around for a while. With Marcos, who knows what the UFC is going to do with her now. I mean, she finally broke the streak. It wasn't a win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Well, a draw's not a win or a loss. So, I mean, I guess in one way, she got out of that streak, just not the way you want to, right? UFC might be letting her go after this. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I believe she came in off of a loss, and now to a draw. And it wasn't the most exciting fight. I mean, it's a decent fight, but it wasn't exactly full of excitement or anything. And losing, fighting to a draw against a UFC debutante isn't going to do her a whole lot of favors. Oop. So we'll just have to see what the UFC is going to do with her from here on out. That was it for the recent fights. Go on into some other recent news. So the biggest news that happened in the last week was that the UFC announced Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the vacant flyweight title. No surprise that it was going to be Shevchenko. She was already scheduled to fight Nico Montano before she dropped out. So no surprise she stayed in it. I'm a little surprised by the Jędrzejczyk thing, bringing her up. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, guys, this is going to be a good fight, okay? And if you were to ask me a year ago, I'd have been super stoked. I'm still excited for this fight, but considering how things have been going over the past year for both of these fighters, this fight has honestly lost a bit of its luster for me. Jędrzejczyk is 1-2 in her last 3, including a knockout at strawweight, knockout loss at strawweight. Shevchenko hasn't been able to be active because of, she sat out waiting for Montano to get better. But she's 1-1 in her last 2, losing to Nunez. Hey, there's no shame in that. But just stating the facts that she is 1-1 in her last 2. And her last win was against Priscilla Cachoeira, who, I mean, come on. If you watched any of her fights before the Valentina Shevchenko fight, you knew that she had no business being in the UFC. She really didn't. She'd been fighting for like 2 years. She had 8-0, but go and watch some of her fights outside the UFC, and she shouldn't even been in the UFC, let alone fighting Shevchenko. That was a straight up gimme fight. Anyway, back on to Shevchenko versus Jędrzejczyk. It's a very good fight to make. By itself, it's a very intriguing fight. Everyone that follows these two knows that Shevchenko beat her like Jędrzejczyk 3 times in amateur Muay Thai 10 freaking years ago in an entirely different sport. Whereas both don't fight the same way anymore. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Um, Jacek's definitely more high output than Shevchenko is with the strikes. Other than that, though, it this fight does have the potential, though, to be, if you're looking for nonstop action, it does have the potential to be a little boring, because you have two fighters who are basically counter strikers against each other, and that often leads to not so boring fight, or not so exciting fights. If you're looking for nonstop action, if you're more into heavy strategy, then this is definitely a fight for you. I still think it's an exciting fight. I just don't think that it's I don't think it's a great title fight right now. I think they could have found someone else besides Jacek. My top candidate in the current flyweight division, people that actually have fights in the UFC flyweight division, I would have gone for Katlyn Chookagian. I think right now she has, well, nobody in that division has more than 2 straight wins, I believe, in the UFC. So I wouldn't, but I think Chookagian definitely has the best argument out of those that have, 2 or more wins. Other fight news. That's gossip. Oh, PFL, Professional Fighters League, formerly known as World Series of Fighting. They are officially adding the women's lightweight 155-pound division, and they're planning to hold an 8-person, fighter tournament in 2019. And of course, that's going to feature their only female star right now, Kayla Harrison. You know what, PFL? Good luck finding enough 155ers to do it. I think the lineup's going to be at least half bloated 145ers. It's, hats off to Kayla Harrison switching to judo and getting MMA, but geez, fighting at lightweight. I mean, look, she's not a small girl. She's not a small woman. She's big, and she's not fat. She's jacked. She's pretty jacked. Not like, bodybuilder jacked, but I mean, she's a very strong, athletic woman. And, just fighting at 155, it's a wasteland. It's an even bigger wasteland than the wasteland that is the women's featherweight division. So all I can say is, Kayla, keep it up, keep up the good work, keep fighting. I'll still support you. I'll support all the women fighters, minus 1 or 2. And good luck to PFL in finding this tournament. I just don't think it's going to be anything to write home about. Moving back on to other news. What other news was there? Big news, UFC flyweight division. Ariane, the Violence Queen Lipski, has officially left KSW and has signed on with the UFC. She is going to fight Marina Moroz, replacing Veronica Macedo in November. Lipski's coming in, a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. She's an exciting fighter to watch. And of course, she's very pretty. So she's going to come in with a lot of hype. We'll see how she does in the UFC. She's fighting against Moroz, who is coming up to flyweight from strawweight. I don't think Moroz has ever fought at flyweight. I'd have to look that up again later. But Lipski coming in, highly touted prospect. Very exciting fighter. A lot of hype. We'll see if she lives up to it. She's used to fighting in big shows because KSW puts on very big shows in Poland. Well, so I don't think, octagon jitters will be a big thing for her because she's fought in big stadium shows before. So it'll be a very interesting to watch her versus the Rose. As far as that fight itself goes, Morose is going to have to be a lot more active than she's been in her last several fights. Um, I like Marina Morose. I thought she had a lot of potential coming in, and she just straight up dusted Joanne Calderwood in her UFC debut. It was like her 6th or 7th straight first round armbar victory, and then after that she's just kind of fallen off, and she's done just enough to win when she has won. It's been a little frustrating as a fan of hers. I also think that her switching around camps several times definitely did not help her. So hopefully, let me adjust this camera here. Okay, that's better. Hopefully, switching up to a higher weight class. She fights very lean. She always stays very lean. Hopefully this will help out, strength and conditioning and better. Maybe she'll have more energy to put a higher output. That's pretty much it for news and fight announcements. So we'll move into this weekend's fights. This weekend was Friday. Friday, Combate Americas, Camino a Copa Combate. I believe this will be streamed on DAZN, that's DAZN, the same streaming service that also streams Bellator now. We have in the strawweight division, Melissa Melly Mel Martinez coming in at 4-0, taking on Frances Hernandez coming in at 3-2. I've never honestly seen either of these two fight, but I've heard good things about Melissa Martinez. Thankfully, Combate Americas is back with another streaming service, so hope hey, DAZN, it's free for a month, and you have Bellator the next night, I believe, or the same night. So get on DAZN, check out that free month, and watch this fight, because there's 2 women's fights on Bellator too. Which, yeah, it takes me to Bellator Saturday. 2 women fights. We have a prelim in the featherweight division. Arlene Blenko coming in at 10-7, the former title challenger, taking on Amber Leibrock at 3-1. Haven't seen a whole lot of Leibrock lately. She's got power in her hands. Blenko is more of a brawler. It's going to make it for an interesting fight. If Leibrock beats Blenko, that immediately elevates her up in the standings in Bellator. They don't have official rankings or anything, but it'll definitely elevate her in the featherweight standings, beating the former title challenger Blenko. Whereas if Arlene wins, it can show us, what Amber Leibrock, where she is at in her game. Up higher on the main card, I believe, is it main card? Yep, main card. Carrie Melendez, Gilbert Melendez's wife, long kickboxing career. She's going to be having her 3rd MMA fight at strawweight against the pro-ranked Dakota Zimmerman. I haven't done my research on Zimmerman yet, so all I can say is it's going to be a tough debut against Carrie Melendez, who not a whole lot of MMA experience, but a long time of striking experience in kickboxing. So good luck to Zimmerman in this fight. I'm gonna go with Melendez. I think she's the obvious choice. And then on early Sunday morning, if you want to stay up till 2 a.m. Eastern time, we have Ryzen. Always interesting fights. Always interesting shows with Ryzen. Several kickboxing fights on this card, I believe. Yeah, 2 kickboxing fights, but they're with the men, and we're here for the ladies. So we have both of these fights are going to be in the Ryzen, super atomweight division, which is 108 pounds. First, we have Andy Wynn coming in at 6-6, facing Miyu Yamamoto coming in at 2-3 in a rematch of their fight from like a year and a half, 2 years ago. You know, Ryzen is still trying to make Miyu Yamamoto a thing because famous family. Um, Andy won the first time out. I don't see her losing to Miyu. I think Win takes this fight again. And, you know, unfortunately for Miyu, she's coming in. She just lost her brother to cancer, and her brother's her main coach and cornerman. That could play a serious. I'd be surprised. I'd be honestly be surprised if it doesn't play a serious role. You know. Sorry to Miyu Yamamoto for the loss of your brother. That sucks. I know the same feeling. My brother died a few years ago. And I was pretty messed up for a while after that. And honestly, you know, Yamamoto, she's in her 40s. She's not going to improve that much. So I see Andy Wynn taking this fight again. Maybe not by submission, probably maybe by decision. I don't know. I mean, unless Yamamoto comes in and just destroys her, I see Andy Wynn winning this. You know, neither of these are great fighters, but I think Yamamoto is even lower on the spectrum than Andy Wynn. And then we have the former Invicta FC atomweight title holder, Ayaka Hamasaki, coming in at 15-2, and her only 2 losses are at a higher weight class, at strawweight, taking on the Deep Jewels current atomweight champ, which that was a title that Hamasaki held as well, I believe. Mina Kurobi coming in at 12-3. Now, Hamasaki is coming off a recent win, I think it was a split decision win over Alyssa Garcia after a long layoff after getting knocked out by Olivia Souza. Whereas Mina Kurobi is coming in off a 2-win streak. She beat Jungwon Park at Deep 81 back in December, and then she coming off a recent win, oh, not that recent, in March against Satomi Takano by unanimous decision. So it'll be an interesting fight. I think Hamasaki's lost a step. You look at how she fought against Garcia. I mean, yeah, there was ring rust, but Hamasaki should not have had that much trouble against someone of Alyssa Garcia's caliber. Even with Josh Barnett cornering Garcia, and Josh Barnett knows Hamasaki very well, still, that fight should not have been that close. I see Kurobi getting the upset here. I don't see odds for this fight, but I'd be surprised if Hamasaki isn't the betting favorite. Let me see. Well, according to Tapology, 90% of the people that have picked have gone for Hamasaki, only 3% for Kurobi. But guys, don't be surprised if Hamasaki gets upset here. Kurobi is probably the physically older fighter, but she's not as old as far as, you know, time fighting. They have about the same amount of experience, but Kurobi's been fighting for a lot shorter time. She put in more fights. Oh yeah, Kurobi's 41 years old. I didn't realize she was that old. Wow. But I think Kurobi's going to come in the hungrier fighter. I think Hamasaki already has one foot out the door. I think she's done. She's half retired already. That's just my personal opinion. It's not going to be popular, but that's my opinion. I think she really wanted to fight that badly. She wouldn't have taken off that long of a time after the Souza loss. Yeah, it was a bad knockout, but she took off almost 2 freaking years, or over a year, well over a year, and then she comes back to Ryzen and fights a girl who was like 3-3 or 3-4 going into the fight. Yeah, she took on someone who went into the fight 3-4 and went to sorry, I said a split decision earlier, unanimous decision. Hamasaki should not have gone to a decision against Alyssa Garcia. So I'm not picking a winner in this fight, but I'm saying don't be surprised if Kurobe picks up the upset. One fight I forgot, and it should be a pretty good one. Going backwards to Friday at LFA 51 main event, flyweight title fight. Sabina Mazo coming in at 5-0, the sitting champ, taking on Jamie Navarra coming in at 7-4. Navarra is coming off that loss to Antonina Shevchenko at Dana White Tuesday night's contender series. Bleh. Said a mouthful. This should be a good fight. I'm not going to be able to watch it. My cable company doesn't have access, and that's the only way you can watch it. So, anybody who does watch it, hit me up. Let me know how it goes. That's mostly going to be it for this stream. It's a short one. Not a whole lot else to talk about. I mean, I could go into, well, we got, the next weekend is, next weekend is Khabib versus McGregor card, and there's a few women's fights on that one. We'll go into those real quick. Well, show me the fight card. 1, 2, 3. So, early fight pass prelims. You have number 12, Lena Landsberg at bantamweight versus Yana Kunitskaya coming back down to bantamweight. She's the former Invicta FC champion. Then she got called up to get, obliterated by Cyborg. Hey, I don't blame her. She made more in that fight than she had in her whole career combined, probably. So Landsberg's coming in 8-3, the elbow queen. Kunitskaya, Foxy coming in 10-4 with one no contest. If you're watching this, I think we all know what that one no contest was. Interesting fight. I think beating Landsberg will definitely show that Kunitskaya is UFC caliber. A lot of fans have been hard on Invicta lately, saying, the crop down Invicta isn't UFC caliber. We'll see. I think Kunitskaya is UFC caliber. The Cyborg fight notwithstanding, we all knew how that one was going to go. It wasn't a matter of if she would lose, it was a matter of how fast. So I think interesting fight. I'll watch some more tape and then I'll make a prediction on them. On the FS1 prelims, we have Aspen Ladd taking on Tanya Evinger. Tanya Evinger, another one who came into the UFC as the Invicta FC champ at 135, got called up to fight Cyborg at 145. She is now taking on Ladd. She was originally, Evinger was supposed to fight, I believe, I forget her name, Brazilian girl. I'll remember it as soon as I'm done recording. Anyway, Brazilian girl got injured, and so Aspen Ladd stepping up at number 9. Number 9, she has like one win in the UFC, one fight. Ladd's coming in 6-0 versus Evinger 19-6. So these are two girls that like to take their opponents down and beat the crap out of them. So really, I think this comes down to who gets the takedown. Evinger's coming in with a lot of experience. Ladd's coming in with youthful exuberance and hype. Should be an interesting. Should be an interesting fight. Be a grind. Don't be surprised if it's a grind fest. Yeah, that's it. And then main card, strawweight fight. The overranked, in my humble opinion, number 8 Michelle Watterson coming in at 15-6 versus number 9 Little Bulldog Felice Herrig coming in at 14-7. So this should be an interesting fight. Both have striking backgrounds. but neither of them are slouches on the ground. This should be a very good, very close fight. They're actually closer in height than I predicted. 63 inches Waterson. Herrig has an inch on her at 64 inch. Herrig's going to have a 3-inch reach advantage, according to the UFC stats. Should be a very interesting fight. It'd be very interesting to see where it goes. Waterson's crafty with her submissions. She submitted Jessica Penny a few years back to win the Invicta Atomweight Championship, and then she got that slick first round submission over Paige Van Zandt, year and a half ago? Yeah, about a year and a half ago, I think, which is really what propelled her up the ranks, unjustifiably, in my humble opinion. But Herrig's no slouch on the ground either. She trains out of a really good team with Team Curran, with Jeff Big Frog Curran. Her ground game has come a long way for a girl who started out in MMA really just a kickboxer. So it should go either way. I think it should be a good fight. I think no matter where it goes, should be very interesting. And if it goes to the ground, it'll be interesting to see how it gets there. Waterson likes to favor the head and arm throw, which has backfired on her before. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all that I have for tonight. Let me know what you think about this past weekend's fights or the upcoming fights. Just let me know your opinions about everything in the comments down below. I took some time off from one of my jobs, so I'm going to be getting back more active into working on this channel. So what do you wait? Hey, guys, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now, the best and fastest growing women's mixed martial arts platform on YouTube. Guys, have a good night.